Hi everyone. My lovely other half asked me just yesterday, "Oh, aren't you doing your weekly videos anymore?" And I said, "No, not really. With the podcast, we have minisodes now, and the minisodes go up on the YouTube channel as well. So there's not the need to really put that weekly content out there. And if I've not much to say, there's no point in going out of my way to say it badly. And I've been tired. I'm busy at work. Life is wearisome at times. But it was a reminder that I did say I would still continue to do them, and whether or not they are alongside the minisodes or whether they are here on a week when there is no minisodes, then they'll just keep popping up. So they should do. I know I think it's been months, possibly since before we started covering Cape Fear. I can't recall if I mentioned these before, but the outfit was an Arrow video release that I picked up. Hopefully you've heard us discuss it on the show. It went down well. It went down very well, so I am pleased with that. It's a really nice package. So you've got the typical extras there. You've got a commentary. You've got a feature about, let me see, The Man with the Getaway Face, a brand new appreciation of author Donald E. Westlake, aka Richard Stark, by Westlake expert Levi Stahl. So that's something to tap into if you're a fan of any previous cinematic incarnation of Parker that you've seen over the years, because that is a character famously created by Westlake. And tapping into The Outsider, a brand new featurette on the outfit and the Parker novels by Elisa Marmol-Cernat and Shay Dennis, creators of Tough Business, a Parker site. So that seems quite interesting as well. So there's good stuff on there. There often is from Arrow. I think I've done enough complaining about them for a while. The Stranger Things box set is a thing of beauty. I have that. The Jackie Chan box set was pretty spectacular. I don't know of any problems with any of those discs. I'm sure someone will rush to tell me if they know different, but they really knocked out of the park with that one. And they're continuing the John Woo releases. So I picked up Once a Thief. Now, that means I've got Hard Boiled, which I'd seen before, The Killer, which I still haven't watched actually. Have I got Bullet in the Head yet, or is that due out soon? I can't recall. And the A Better Tomorrow trilogy, which I've seen A Better Tomorrow before many, many years ago. I don't think I'll be needing to complete any John Woo collection. I'm happy with what I think of as his key titles. And I'm not even sure about this one, but someone reminded me it was released, so I picked it up. And there's a commentary track on here. There's some interesting interviews and featurettes. Once again, I think all of their John Woo content has been very well supplemented with the extras and the just the quality of the discs. So that's nice. And last but not least from Arrow, I don't know why they decided to kind of remaster and re-release this one now. Troy. I wonder if there's something lately that would make them think Troy would sell. Anyway, I've had Troy on DVD for many years. Haven't rushed to rewatch it. I remember quite enjoying it, but it was there. It was there if I wanted to watch it, but I would usually go and rewatch Gladiator or something like that. But this is nice. It's got some great little bits of writing in the booklet. It's got some archival extras. There's a picture-in-picture commentary, which I'm imagining was possibly on the DVD, but may have been another Blu-ray release. There are featurettes. There's some nice things there, and an introduction by director Wolfgang Petersen on the director's cut. It's 4K. I'm actually looking forward to rewatching that and seeing if it's a fun spectacle. You know, the Odyssey was kind of superb. I went to see it at the cinema. That was great. You may have heard me talk about that on the show. But Troy has, you know, a bunch of stars in the cast, tries to deliver spectacle. I want to revisit it and see if it still works, if it holds up, because I enjoyed it when it was released. I've been to the cinema quite a lot lately, so the Odyssey was one. Spider-Man Brand New Day was another, and I mentioned that on the podcast. Dave also went to see it. We both enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. There are a lot of people saying it's the best Spider-Man movie, possibly ever. I don't know about that. Like, I really liked, well, I've generally liked certain parts of all the modern Spider-Man movies. I really wish we'd get at least a cameo from Nicholas Hammond. He was my Peter Parker Spider-Man when I was a kid. I'm not saying that to be a contrarian. He was genuinely kind of my first exposure to the character. He was in the show. He seemed likable because I remember as a kid actually really like accepting him very easily as the young hero. Okay, he's not as young as some other people who've played Spider-Man, Peter Parker, but he was there. Anyway, I'm not saying they are going to be top tier. If you threw together I think there's a film that's a few of the episodes together. But I am saying there are other modern Spider-Man movies that are great. The animated Spider-Man movies have been absolutely top tier. There's even stuff to like in the Andrew Garfield movies, I think. I know I'm in a minority with how much I enjoy those two. But yeah, so Brand New Day is certainly, for me, the one that packs in the most imagery that feels like it was properly taken from the comic pages. There are moments there that just seem, as if they've completely realised a few different panels or comic covers, and it's all the better for it. You can tell it's been a while since I've done these videos, by the way, because I've been looking in the middle and I'm finally looking at the camera, and I apologise even more ridiculously amateurish than usual. And I guess I should say that I went to see End of Oak Street, and once again, I seem to be a bit in a minority. I'll probably discuss this a bit more on the podcast this week coming, but it was a shrug of a film. And I've since noticed that David Robert Mitchell, who directed this and directed It Follows and Under the Silver Lake, and I think it was The Great American Sleepover was his first film, he tends to deliver films that end in a very kind of unresolved way. It's things will continue either as they were, considering how any movie began, or regardless of what has happened throughout the movie. And I'm not getting spoilery there, and I'm not going to get into specifics, but I think you can look at the films in his filmography and agree with me that by the end, if there has been one major change in any way for the lead characters, for the world that's set in that movie, that change is either just left hanging there by the end, or left to be resolved in perhaps some future step of the timeline that happens after the end credits roll. There's nothing particularly consequential about his films when you think about the very end of them, and that's all saying the matter. But End of Oak Street is very much in line with his filmography, and also I sat there watching it thinking, oh yeah, J.J. Abrams was the producer in this, because this really, really just wants to be a Spielberg movie. And I can't think of any other reason for setting it in, I think it's 1982. There are just so many moments that feel like Spielberg isms, but they're not done as well as they would have been if Spielberg had been at the helm. And like it's okay while it's on. It's a pleasant enough diversion, but it's, you know, I would be very surprised if this film is remembered by many people in a few years, especially considering the sheer amount of Anne Hathaway films you have to pick from for this year alone. And while I didn't like it, a film like Mother Mary is a lot harder to forget than a film like The End of Oak Street. So there, that's yeah, that's a note to end on. Anyway, that's it. I will try to remember to do these a little bit more regularly, as I say, whether there are minisodes going up or not. And I know I have quite a tasty delivery due in the next few days, so there will be something worth sharing by next week. So I'll see you at some point next week. Take care.